Hey guys. Oh, hey, I want to take a moment to talk about what I'm doing, and also a bit about what I may or may not do. So this is the inside of the Contessa. At the moment, it's a bloody mess. Obviously. So at this point in time, my intention, there was rot in this bulkhead here. So today, you can see I'm going to saw that all out, and then I'm going to make a template and I'm going to replace that whole bulkhead. No point having a rotten wood there. It was also covered in this decking timber, which is actually very heavy. That's probably a couple of kgs, just that piece alone. Yeah, so there's like 5 or 10 kgs. You add that all up and it's a bit nuts. That's the last person's, what they were doing that for, I don't know. So I'm going to also take this piece out. So new bulkhead there. I don't want a toilet. You can't beat a bucket on a small boat. That's not up for debate. I just want a bucket. I'm going to have a hanging wardrobe here for wet weather gear. I'm going to put a partition here. I want a double V-berth in here. I think that's a really good asset on a little boat. That's the layout in the front. Here I intend to put this out, extend the bed to there. I really like having a nice thing to lean against, so I'll be able to lean against that. And then I'm also going to build a piece in there that you can lean against there and basically make it into a really nice big couch. I think that'll be lovely. New squabs. When everything's out, I'll paint it, of course. This, I don't want a sink here. I'm going to put a big... This will pretty much remain the same, but I'll put a sheet of ply. That'll remain the same. And here we come to the really interesting part of the engine. So this is the old engine bay. I've been thinking long and hard about the engine, and I've not made a decision yet. I think, well, I know this much. I will be starting with an outboard. I hope to have this boat in the water in about November, and I'll be having an outboard. There's a little bit of a question. Do I have it on the transom? I've had quite a few boats in my life, so I know a little bit about what works. And in my experience, I think on a 20-foot boat, an outboard on the transom is absolutely awesome, unbeatable. 22-foot boat, I think that gets a little less attractive. You start cavitating a bit, and anyone that's heard that when you're trying to motor and there's a bit of a chop is a very, very frustrating situation. 24, just over 25, I find it doesn't work that well having an outboard, unless you've got a really, really good transom for it on the back, you know. So, but a lot of IF folk boats have that, do have those. So I might be starting with that on the transom, and that's okay. The other option is to build a well, and I'm looking at that. I spent a lot of time with the tape measure yesterday, and I can see that you could have a well. And I noticed some of those IF folk boats, which are 26 foot, same size as Contessa, they've got a well too. So just proves that it is a possibility. I love outboard wells. I think they're the best thing ever, like that, because you get all the benefits of both. So yeah, so there. But I mean, ultimately, it'd be lovely to have a little diesel. I also remember. So the thing is with having a little diesel, you know, you invariably put even a new one. I've had quite a few boats, more than most people, really. I say I've got a bit of a boat addiction. If you look at my last post, you'll certainly get an idea of that. And that's just a tenth of my boating life so far. I've only been making motor videos for the last year, and I've been mucking around with boats for 10 or 15 years. But and at various stage pictures of feverishness too, like often I've had a lot on the go. And I was even trading them for a while. But so I have got a bit of experience, I guess, and I know what I like, hence doing the layout and the way I like it. One of the things I really like is having no through-hole fittings. I find that very attractive. And indeed, that's why I pulled the toilet out, and I will be pulling all the fittings for the sink out. You can't beat. Also, the other thing I want to do is this area I want to develop. I mean, I can stand up in this area. why not be here when I do my cooking? And I also find that, like, having a cooker here, you get right outside. Having a cooker over there, I find is nuts. You know, I never use it because it's too far on the boat. It's too small a boat for that. I find that if you can cook outside, better. And so I plan to cook right there. But that's not really affected by whether I have an inboard. I think what I need to establish is that I probably will have an inboard. I'd like a little Volvo or a Yanmar, but it won't be now. It'll be down the line. I mean, can't justify spending the money at the moment with all that's happening and stuff, and well, I don't have the money to spend. So, you know, that's just that. And I've got a really late model little 5-horse Yamaha. It's only like 3 or 4 years old. Long shaft. I mean, you know, why wouldn't I use that? So, so I think for the meantime, it'll be on the back. A couple of things are affected by that. I'm probably not going to put the push pit back on, because one thing I found with a boat this size before is trying to get your way through the push pit to motor is just an absolute nightmare. And I'd rather not have the push pit. And I talked to a guy with a Contessa called John in Carlisle a couple of years ago that sailed it there from England. Lovely guy. If you hear this, get a hold of me. And he didn't have a push pit on, and I thought, oh, that was really cool. Felt vulnerable, but you know, given he actually had an inboard, but given how hard it is to get to the outboard, I think it's well worth not having that. Electric motors I looked at, it's the range, of course, it's a problem. I mean, something that can only do 5 or 10 nautical miles, I mean, when you're cruising for 2 or 3 days, I just don't see how that's practical. I mean, I do a lot of sailing. I'm a purist. I love to be at no motor at all, but I've got a family, a young family, and I need to get home sometimes. So I do need to propel. So it is the problem that needs solved. I really like the idea of taking everything pertaining to the old inboard out and having this area, like I said, I want to put something flat across here, a nice bit of macrocarpa or something as a little bench, and then I can have the cooker on top. I might even intrude into here and have storage underneath. And then I have plenty of other storage for what I want to do. I have a nice flat space on here. I just want this to be flat. I want something to lift up into there because it's, you know, so I can get in there. Maybe I could actually go from there actually and then have it completely flat over top. That's cool. I think this stuff is well made and looks cool. I mean, that wood looks great. And these beds I'll keep. But I mean, it's a little boat, so it seems like a lot of work, but hey, I mean, renovating a house is 100 times bigger, really. Well, that's a wild exaggeration, but it's a lot different. So, you know, and I want to do it really well. So today I'm going to be cutting with the jigsaw the rest of that out, making a shape, and then, yeah, just plodding. I mean, it's a part-time thing because I've got to work doing caravans and that as well over the next 6 months. So it's just a part-time thing. It's lovely to be able to come out and work on it when I can, and be very liberating getting rid of all this crap. So anyway, that's an update. It gives you sort of some idea of what I intend to do. I mean, you can really see the benefit of having a little bench here. I mean, I can stand up here. You know, it makes so much sense to be here, to be cooking, and you know, I can look outside and stand here and look outside, and you know, usually the boat is pointing into the wind. So if it's windy, like the wind will be coming over the top. It's sheltered here. Maybe I have like a bench that the top of it has 2 little legs and it actually folds out over there and give me a massive sort of outdoor indoor thing. That would be really cool. I'm also going to update the thing, you know, the cover that goes over the cockpit there, spray dodger, and I need to kind of look at this floor. It's a bit spongy in parts. Yeah, I hope that gives you a bit of an update where I'm at. I'm enjoying it. I'm in no rush with it. You know, it's just the start of winter, and it's going to be a very interesting winter in the world. I don't need to tell anyone listening to this what's going on in the world. In New Zealand, we're in some ways better place to deal with it because we had a lockdown and early, and we haven't got many cases. In other places, it's harder. I'm not going to rabbit on about that. Everyone's talking about that. I don't need to talk about that on the boat vlog. Wiring I'm going to take out. One thing I really want to stress. That with the inboard, it's great having an inboard, but I've had inboards and I know sometimes you go to your boat, your battery's flat, or this is that and this is that, and you need to fix it, and they actually end up being quite a lot of work. And I sat down and did an equation once, and I worked out that an inboard had stopped me going sailing more than the impediment of having an outboard ever would. You know, like because of a flat battery, or because of dirty diesel, or whatever it was. There was so many reasons, so many times I couldn't go sailing. When I had an outboard, the motor was never a reason that I couldn't go out sailing, unless you're a real crapper. So I mean, you can have an outboard that's a couple of years old, and having an inboard for a couple of years old is very unlikely, and costs so much money, and also it's all the weight. Somebody said online that if you take everything from the inboard, lay it out in the ground that you need, it's a shocking amount of crap. And it's all weight in a little boat, and it's all space. So ideally, I'd like to have no inboard. Ideally, I'd have no motor. I can't. I'm going to have something. I'm going to try the outboard on the transom for a while. Maybe in a couple of years I'll put an inboard. Maybe the electric will improve. I think an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. If you could motor for 3 hours and you knew you could get, say, 20 or 30 miles, then around the Hauraki Gulf that could really work, because it pretty much get you home from where you're going to be, if you need, and if it's flat or whatever. So that's sort of what I think that the expectation needs to be met for it to be practical. I've been rabbiting on for too long. I hope this has been helpful, especially for people, just looking at similar things, although who the hell am I to say? Have a good day. Bye-bye.